sack. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again to the 35.
Hungry dogs run faster.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Having Juice with OJ. And I'm here again with my boy, Juan Gonzalez. So if you guys do not know, Jeremy actually just got a new job, and he will be the assistant athletic director at Arcadia. So shout out to the boy. So we'll be having Juan on here a bunch of times when he can't fill in. So Juan, what is good, bro?
What's going on? A little upset that he's a little too happy today after his Celtics championship, but we're here. We're going to talk some sports, have a good time.
Yeah, so today, boys and ladies, if you're watching, we're going to start off with some basketball talk, go into a little bit of baseball talk, and then cap it off with some football because we are very excited for that.
Always.
To start off, like you said, I'm a happy camper right now, and I can't be mad. Celtics in 5. I know I said 6 or 7, but I'm even happier right now. Jaylen Brown winning Finals MVP and Eastern Conference MVP. How do we feel about that one?
I think he deserved it. I thought he played better than Tatum. Tatum put up the numbers. When you look at the efficiency, it wasn't all there.
Yeah.
And that's what you paid Jaylen Brown $300 million for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he was able to kind of cash in on that. And one, get his money, and then two, back up the fact that he got his money. So kudos to him. Kudos to the Celtics. I thought he played very well. But all throughout the playoffs, I thought he was their best player. So happy for him.
Yeah, my man's was strapping up Luka the entire time. That was pivotal for the Celtics. And also the fact that he averaged almost 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists does not hurt. No. Also shot very, very efficiently. Also Game 3, having that 30-point game, huge. Everything he did was sound, and that's what I loved about it. On top of just him, the Celtics just were the grittier team. It felt like KP coming out of nowhere for no reason on no limit, like no minute restriction, but still they didn't play him a lot, obviously. Yeah. Needs surgery now. What a dog for that.
Yeah. Like you said, they were just the better team overall throughout the whole series. You could tell, one, they were making the adjustments they needed to make, and two, that it seemed like they wanted it more. They were more locked in. There was nothing from game 1. You could kind of tell that this series wasn't going to go far. We talked about how we thought it was going to go far. We saw what the Mavs had done against their last couple opponents, and then maybe that caught up to them. Maybe they just weren't fully rested. Like the Celtics had a bunch of time off, and that can go one of two ways. It can cause a rust factor, or it gives them the rest factor. So for the Celtics, it seemed like it gave them the rest factor for sure. They didn't come out rusty. They played Celtics basketball. They shot a bunch of threes. They made their threes, and they defended well. And that's a recipe for championships, as you see.
100%. I mean, the backcourt duo with Drew Holiday and Derek White was just fantastic. Kyrie was not able to do anything, and people are saying he was missing wide open shots, which he did. I will say that, but also it's because he's getting tired because he's getting pushed against by Drew Holiday and Derek White. And Derek White chipping his tooth last night. I don't know if you watched it in slow-mo.
No, I didn't.
This man dove for a loose ball on defense. It was all over the place. He dove. He goes to the ground like this. Derek Lively comes over his back, shoulders his face into the ground. His whole face smashes into the ground. 2 front teeth go loose, and one's like half chipped off. And he started bleeding heavily.
I make a great picture of him like holding the trophy with a chipped tooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as soon as it happened, like Jaylen Brown, he's mic'd up. He was like, "Man, you ugly." He just clowned him right away. It was absolutely so dope to see because you could just tell right when that moment happened, I was like, we are winning this game.
See, I thought, well, one, they came out just on fire. And then once Peyton Pritchard comes in and hits that, he played 1 minute, took 1 shot, hit 1 3, and it was a half quarter at the buzzer.
He played 3 seconds, Juan.
Exactly.
3 seconds. On the score sheet, it said 0 minutes,
yeah.
3 points.
Yep, and I saw that, and I was just like, yeah, some things you just know are meant to be. And once that shot went in, I was like, yeah, there's no way they're coming back from this. Yeah, the vibes were great for the Celtics all game yesterday, to be honest. It never felt like that game was in question.
Yeah.
They were coasting the whole game. We talked about it before. They basically stepped on their necks the whole first half. And then second half, we're just like, all right, let's play some good defense and not let them come back. And that's what they did.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of JT slander around, like right away, everyone talking crap about like, oh, he's going to do the Kobe picture, or like oh, he didn't do anything. He's salty about not getting the Finals MVP. I disagree with all of that. Yeah. Of course you want to win Finals MVP. I mean, the voting was 7-4. It's not like it was that bad.
Yeah.
And like it's okay to not win it. And I think he was okay with it, but a lot of people just started getting on him for it.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to be the top dog of that team, so I get it. He didn't have a bad series. He just wasn't efficient.
Yeah.
He just wasn't efficient. And even so, he started the game 1 for 3 and then ended 3 for 9 from 3 or 3 for 7, something like that. And it was like, I don't know. I just feel like he takes a lot of chuck it shots. I think he's perfectly fine with a ring, though, as most people would be. And he's going to get a payday. I already saw they're talking about giving him $300 million. So
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
I think he'll be fine. And in all honesty, I see no reason why the Celtics can't come back within the next couple years again, and he can get himself his own Finals MVP.
Yep.
So the slander, social media is going to do what they want to do, and they're always gonna slander somebody for something. He could have went off for 50, and they still would have found a shot or something that he did. And, you know, but I don't know. I don't think he's too worried about it. I know I wouldn't be too worried about it. I know I'd go enjoy myself in Miami like they're gonna go do, and maybe turn off social media for a couple of days and bask in it.
100%. Shout out to them and Deuce. I mean, Deuce is the little mascot that they have. So, I mean, shout out him. That wraps it up for basketball talk, folks. It's upsetting to see it go, but it's bittersweet for me a little bit because, we just won that chip. We are the winningest. We are the I knew you were going to say we are the winningest franchise in basketball history. Let's go. But yeah, we can move right on because I'll gloat all day long. Baseball talk, Juan. We've got a couple series that we want to talk about right now and just break down. The Orioles, Phillies. The Orioles win 2-1 in that series. How do we feel about that matchup?
I thought that whole series, I watched all 3 games. It felt like a playoff atmosphere almost. All the fans were into it. You could tell both teams were into it. You could tell the Orioles were definitely there for the test, and they wanted to do whatever they could to take down the Phillies. It was a great series. I thought the umpiring was a bit questionable, but in that same breath, you can't always blame that, especially when you're blowing leads and you're giving up home runs to tie it in the 8th and the 9th, and wild pitches to give up tying runs, things like that. I thought it was a great series. I came away with it with Gunnar Henderson is so much fun to watch. That dude's just insane at baseball. And then Grayson Rodriguez, their top pitching prospect, another one that's just insanely fun to watch. He's just sitting 98, pumping you with a 92-mile-an-hour changeup. Like, it's crazy. And then Anthony Santander decides he wants to be the new Phillies killer and just torch us all weekend. So overall, I think it's great for baseball. I'm glad that they got rid of the, how they used to do interleague play for like a month out of the season. I like how they switch it up now and they let the Orioles and Phillies play in June rather than some random time in August. So it was good. It's great for, like I said, great for baseball for 2 powerhouse teams to be going at it. And I just thought baseball could have done better of putting Orioles Phillies Father's Day on like a primetime game. You know what I mean? If you want to grow your game, that's a game people want to watch. Zach Wheeler versus Corbin Burns.
100%.
That's something that I think they can work on, but great series.
Yeah, it was a great series. I definitely think it came down to the Orioles putting up 17 runs, the Phillies putting up 10 runs. You're not going to win that way. Gunnar Henderson, like you said, he's amazing to watch. He tends to like to get leadoff bombs, just like Kyle Schwarber, which is really dope to see, which happened in the second game with Zach Wheeler, giving up 4 bombs.
Bombs.
Like,
Colin Cowser took him like 460.
Yeah, took him long ball. And it's just like those are things that are not going to work. How do you feel about it so far with Zach Wheeler and also Aaron Nola pitching so far?
They've been great. You look at I haven't seen it recently, but before their last round of starts, the Phillies had 4 of the top 6 guys in ERA. So I love Wheeler. I love Nola. I've always been a massive Ranger Suarez guy. I felt like I started the Ranger Suarez hype train. And now that he's, like a Cy Young favorite, I think he's literally the favorite to win the Cy Young right now. I just love watching Ranger pitch, not to take away from Wheeler and Nola. But I think the pitching staff as a whole has been phenomenal. You got Matt Strahm in the bullpen holding it down. Sir Anthony struggled. I was calling for him to get released or DFA'd, but he's picked it up since May. Alvarado, I think, needs to kind of find it a little bit. He's just a little wild for me right now, but I feel comfortable where the Phillies are. Baseball is one of those games where you can be hot for a month and then your bats can cool down for a month. And their bats are in a little bit of a lull right now, but nothing for me to get too worried about. You're just getting Marsh back, you're just getting Turner back, but then in the same breath, you're losing JT. So I thought it was a good test for the Phillies. I don't think they played horribly. I just think that they now know that they got to pick the bats up,
100%. I mean, that was definitely going to be my next point, was just injuries with the bats. With Trey Turner, I think it started to catch up with you that he was out for so long. JT going down, there was some talk about, when Trey Turner comes back, does he bat second? Well, it kind of got answered with JT going down now because he would have been the other guy. Brandon Marsh coming back in such a hard series, like when you're versing just a very good bullpen and like very good starters, it's a tough scene. You're not going to get the Brandon Marsh back that you thought you were going to get back like right away because it takes some time to come back and just be in the major leagues. It's a hard league to play in. And I think that was definitely one of the issues with this series. I saw Baltimore beating you guys in this series 100%, but it all came down to those things.
Yeah. And they didn't hit well with hitters and with runners in scoring position. I think they hit like 200 on the dot or something like that with runners in scoring position. And that's always going to bite you. It's always going to hurt you. And then in the same breath, I have some stats here. The Orioles are first in the league in team homers. So they hit the ball out of the park. And in the same breath, both clubs are tied for top 4 for runs in the league. So both teams are offensive teams. Yeah. Most of the time, in my opinion, good pitching beats good hitting, but sometimes good hitting it just catches you. And that's what happened to Wheeler. I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. Also, the Baltimore's Fleet Week air show happened during the game. So, like, there was just a flyover in the middle of a game.
Yep.
And that, like, the fact that, one, it's a sellout crowd. 2, you've got flyovers of air shows going on. It's just home field advantage.
Yeah, I want to go to Baltimore. Baltimore seems like a cool park to go to.
Yeah, I like Camden Yards. I've been there a bunch. It's
really
fun. Yeah, it's a good time.
I want to go down.
Yeah, we're going to have to check that out. Moving on, it's the same type of series because it's now my team, the Yankees, versus the Orioles coming up starting today. When this comes out, the series would have already happened. The Yankees are 50-24. You've got the Orioles 47-24. What do you think about for the series, and who do you have winning this 3-game series?
So Baltimore's up 3-1 right now on the season series.
Yes.
I think the Yankees can come in and kind of show who they are. I think that the Yankees are the better team overall. It'll come down to pitching, like we were just kind of talking about. Can you subdue the Orioles' bats? Because if you can, then the Yankees lineup should be able to put some runs up. Because the Orioles' pitching staff is good, but it's not amazing. So I don't know. I think Game 3 will be pretty big. You've got Cole Irvin and Luis Gil. Cole Irvin 6-3 right now, 3.03 ERA. Gil 9-1 with a 2.03 ERA.
He's been absolutely balling.
Insane.
It's been fun to watch him too. He reminds me of like how you like to watch Ranger. I like to watch Luis.
Yeah, so I think Game 3, it'll probably be 1-1 going in, and then Game 3, that rubber match will be awesome to watch. Luis Gil dominated the Orioles earlier this year. Went 6 1/3, only 2 hits, 5 Ks. So I think that's going to be a great series to watch. Aaron Judge kills the Orioles too. Did you see his stats against the Orioles?
Yeah, oh my God, it's absolutely insane.
302, 107 hits, 39 homers, and 85 RBIs in 99 games. That's crazy.
That's a big sample size to be batting over 300.
With 39 homers in 99
homers.
games, that's impressive.
That's crazy.
I like the Yankees, though. I think the Yankees take it 2-1.
Yeah. Definitely tonight is going to be a little bit weird. I mean, Nestor Cortez has been weird this year, but the one thing he has been doing good is pitching at home. 1.77 ERA. That does well when you're versing a powerhouse with Gunnar and Adley. Need Nestor to step it up today and get the first win because there's a chance of getting Garrett Cole for this game too, which is probably what's going to happen. Having Garrett Cole come face his first time back this year versus the Orioles, that's a big matchup. He's been killing it on his rehab, like absolutely destroying it. So I'm excited to see him come back in. If he comes in healthy, it's going to get real scary for the rest of the league.
Agreed.
Like you said, in my opinion, I would say the Orioles might take this one from us at home the first game. I think we come out strong and win for Garrett the second. And then I think we'd win the third game. The Yankees, I mean, Anthony Rizzo going down, we'll talk about this a little bit with the injury updates. Anthony Rizzo going down definitely hurts you, but it's not that bad. He hasn't been that amazing this year.
No.
So I don't know what to say, but Yankees 2-1 are winning the series in my head.
I agree.
So then we're going to move on to a little bit of an injury update, Juan. Mookie Betts out 4 to 6 weeks. How do we feel about the Dodgers with Ohtani going to be the leadoff hitter now?
I think that team is just deep. I think that
Also 6 to 8 weeks. My bad. 6 to 8
6
weeks.
to 8
Yeah,
for
I said that
Mookie.
wrong.
So you got Miguel Rojas that'll probably hop in there, and then one of my personal favorite players, Kike Hernandez. He'll hop in as short occasionally. I see they called up Miguel Vargas. He was the guy that just stood at the plate during spring training. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
He just stood there and they just wanted him to see pitches.
Yeah.
So they called him up.
So weird.
So weird, yeah. So they called him up. No, I think he was hurt or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think he was hurt.
so they called him up to fill in and left when Kike pops down to play short. I think they'll be fine. You never want to lose a Mookie. You know, he's, in my opinion, a top 3 player in baseball, if not the best, depending on how you want to look at it. I think they'll be fine. That team is built for longer than 6 to 8 weeks. You know what I mean? 6 to 8
100%.
weeks, they'll probably still be in first in the NL West. And
They will be.
yeah,
They
And
will be.
It's not like they're calling up a rookie to take over. You know, Rojas is solid. He's a veteran. He's been there before, so I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to really move the needle against them too much, and I don't think it's going to help them too much. It's just Shohei, he's performed well when he's batted first. I was looking at some of the stats, and
Really?
it looks like he's a solid leadoff hitter, and it's also just Shohei Ohtani.
Yep.
That man's a star.
That's like the Schwarber thing. It's like get him as many at bats as you can.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that guy needs the bat in his hands. He should have at least 4 at bats a game.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. So, yeah, that's that on the Dodgers. They're going to stay in first, 100%.
Yeah.
Moving on, you've got Anthony Rizzo. He is out 4 to 6 weeks. That's what I meant to say. And I don't know what this does for the Yankees too much. I mean, they're calling up Ben Rice.
Yeah.
He's a power lefty hitter. It'll be interesting to see what they do because DJ can also play first. What do you think this does for the Yankees? Will this hurt them? Will the Orioles take the 1 spot now?
I think that the Orioles and Yankees are just in a fight regardless, even if Rizzo's there or not. I think what this does is the Yankees are still in a solid spot. You haven't been getting too much from Rizzo, so if you can find this Ben Rice kid and you can see what he can do at the major league level, and maybe he outperforms Rizzo, you know? So if anything, I think it gives them a chance to see somebody else. DJ can play first, but I don't know. I feel like DJ's career is just kind of on the back end.
Downward spiral.
Yeah, his bat's not quite what it used to be at all. Sure, you can put him at first, but he's just a body there. So it gives you a chance to see a young kid. And in the same breath, if it doesn't work, and Rizzo comes back. But that's another one where it's a big name that gets hurt, but I don't know if that big name was necessarily the end-all, be-all for your team.
Yeah, especially when he just hasn't been that solid this year. It feels like he got lowered in the lineup. He hasn't been doing that well at Yankee Stadium hitting as a lefty when you should be killing the ball.
Yeah.
Like you should be able
Soto.
to kill the ball. Yes, like Juan Soto is. Yeah, I agree. Anthony Rizzo doesn't move the needle. I'm just scared the Orioles could take the 1 spot now while this is happening because this is an experiment you're doing.
It is. It's definitely an experiment. But like I said, I think that they were battling regardless. I think that the Orioles, they won that division last year and they have a taste of it and they want to win again. I don't think anybody really wants to be a wild card team. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I hope
everybody-
Ben Rice does well though.
Everybody but the Diamondbacks because apparently they're a really good wild card team.
And the Phillies too.
And the Phillies can do it. Another big name we were just talking about, you got Garrett Cole coming back, season debut. This is huge for the Yankees because this can either make them have a 6-man rotation or you throw Nestor into the bullpen. Cole was lights out in rehab assignment, like I said. 1 earned run, 19-0 strikeout versus base on ball, which is huge in 12.1 innings thrown in 3 starts. That was obviously in AAA. He struck out 10, 1 unearned run across 4.1 frames. Like, this dude's he's been absolutely balling it down there. I mean, that's what you expect. He's a Cy Young type guy versus all these little AAA guys. But what do you think this moves the needle even more for the Yankees? And if he comes back and he starts off strong, does this put the league on notice?
Yeah, I think for sure that's a Cy Young winner.
Yeah,
you add Cy Young winner to a rotation that's already been pretty good, and of course you put the league on notice, and they're already at the top of the league right now. So he might come in with a little rust, or he'll probably, he might go 5 on Wednesday and see where he's going, or he might throw 60 pitches and see how that feels. But like we were saying earlier, where Brandon Marsh coming in and facing major leaguers right away, like he went down to AAA and mashed in 2 games in AAA, and it's like, as he should.
Yeah.
But pitching, I think, is a bit different, but in the same breath, like he's just dominant. He should go down there. 19 strikeouts to no walks is crazy. That's impressive, no matter what the level. But I think that if he comes in and he's Garrett Cole that we're used to, then absolutely the league should be on notice for sure. I think that the Yankees are a powerhouse. They're a very good team. Great bullpen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary team. I
mean, we're definitely both hoping for a Phillies-Yankees World Series again.
That'd be cool.
That would be fun to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
We would definitely get into some debates, definitely get a little red on those. So injury updates, do you have any more that you think are important to talk about right now?
No, not really. I think, a little homer back to the Phillies pick. I really like Rafael Marchand.
Yeah.
He came up a couple years ago and he caught a couple games. He's one of those guys that he just looks comfortable behind the plate. He's a good defensive catcher. He made a play yesterday where he catches it and makes a bullet throw down to second base and just boom, right on top of the guy's helmet. And it's like, that's cool. So I'm not too worried about the JT absence. I think Marchand is better than Stubbs. I think he's much better
I would have
than
to agree.
So that's the only one I really would touch on other than that. But no, I think I'm good on injuries.
Yeah, Stubbs is like a nice backup in my head. Like definitely not a guy you just want to have out there starting.
You can catch your 5th starter.
Yeah,
that's great. Good for
He's
him.
a little small of a guy.
He's so tiny.
He's a little small guy.
He's so tiny.
So that's the injury update segment, boys. And we've got, moving on, a little bit of football talk because they just came out with the new format for Hard Knocks. It is going to be featuring the AFC North, and that means the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you want to talk to the people, tell the fans kind of what this new format is?
So yeah, basically they're following all 4 teams throughout the year. It won't be super in depth like we're used to with other teams, but I think it's cool to follow a team like Pittsburgh where you've got Fields and you've got Russell Wilson now. And they just been through a lot of change over the last couple of years. Baltimore is another great team to follow. Lamar, I think, is one of the most entertaining guys in the league. Harbaugh is awesome. You got Joe Burrow over there in Cincinnati. So I think it'll be fun. I like that they're switching it up. I feel like it got a bit stale. They're trying to do the off season and the end season, the Hard Knocks, and I think that's cool. I like that. I like that they're switching it around, but this new format of 4 separate teams, I think will be cool. I think it'll draw some more people in for sure.
I agree. I mean, like you said, you got a 2-time MVP that you're going to be following now in Lamar Jackson. You've got Joe Burrow coming off of just the constant injuries, it feels like, and trying to really ramp him up and see what he can do this year. I think he's going to have a step-up year and a standout year. Like you said, the Russell Wilson and the Justin Fields aspect of it, I've been saying, and I'll stick with it, Justin Fields is going to be starting by week 6.
You think so?
I think he'll be starting by week 6. I don't know what this whole Justin Fields isn't good type aspect kind of happened, but Russell Wilson to me is on the decline, and I think they'll want some new legs in there, and I think Justin Fields will be in week 6. Stamp that. And this will be coming out December 3rd. Like you said, the whole offseason thing too, where we have a dive into the rookie Caleb Williams at the Bears, and you've got the New York Giants I mean, the New York Giants isn't that fun. Like
Yeah.
that's not a fun one to watch.
That's a market.
Yeah, exactly. But watching Caleb Williams and see kind of him get his feet under him, like that's really cool.
I agree. That's cool. You get to see him with his, he's got Keenan now. He's got Rome Odunze there. I think that's awesome. And then you get to see, besides Joe Burrow's injury history, he's just one of those guys that he's just cool. Joe Shiesty, he's just one of those people that
Joe Burr.
Yeah, he's just one of those people that seems to be comfortable in front of a camera, marketable, and I think they picked the right division. I think the NFC East would have been cool too, but I don't think that's like the Eagles have no interest in doing anything like that. And
Jalen Hurts barely talks.
Yeah, and I like that. I don't need cameras everywhere. I don't need all the hoorah around the team. Like there's enough going on already. So I think they picked a good division to focus on. You've got a young versus an old QB guy. You got a great up and coming team with Baltimore who's already been there. Another up and coming team in Cincinnati who's already been there, and then Cleveland is a wild card.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. I don't think they'll get much airtime. I think they'll be focusing on the other three a bit more.
Yeah.
I also think they're gonna get some backlash for that, but
You think?
because you're gonna have Deshaun on the screen and whatnot. Like people aren't gonna like that. You might get people that don't want to watch just because of that. But
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that. Definitely Cleveland Browns are like the one I'm like, I don't really care to watch that
Yeah.
much. But the other ones I'm like very excited to see.
it's cool.
Hard Knocks, December 3rd. Check it out, guys. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Then the other biggest news right now in football, it feels like, is the Ayuk situation right now.
Yeah.
He goes on TikTok and he's talking to the Commanders quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and he says that they don't want me back. How do we read into this one?
I think it's very calculated. I don't think you post something like that without knowing it's going to get some sort of backlash or reaction.
Yeah.
He's talking to his old college quarterback, in Jaden Daniels, who they played with at Arizona State. Not Arizona State. Well, they did go to Arizona State, not Arizona though.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere. Either way, Washington is in need of a receiver. They have Terry, who's very good. I'm a big Terry guy, but he's reaching 30. They could use another weapon. I think Ayuk is a good receiver. I think he's a great route runner. But you don't post that without wanting to push more of an agenda of like, get me out of here. You know what I mean? I think he wants to be back. I don't know why he'd want to leave a team like San Fran. I think it's a good team to be on. But whether it's money or whatever it is, maybe he doesn't like sharing the field with Debo or sharing targets with Debo and Kittle. Who knows? But I don't think you post something like that without trying to get a message out there of like, whoever it is, come get me.
Yeah.
Whether it's Washington, whoever it is, come get me.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, like you said, I don't know why you would want to leave a team like the 49ers where you're just open.
All the
Like,
time.
You literally don't have to think about how to get open because you just get open because
Yeah.
you've got such weapons on that team that it just makes it easy for you to do your job. I think the biggest issue is the monetary value of everything right now. The negotiations stalled. I mean, he's fined about like $104,000 right now, it looks like. Just for missing mandatory minicamp. And I think also, like I said, it's about the money in my head. Amon-Ra St. Brown got a big deal. And I think he's kind of looking at that as like what he wants, which his deal was about 4 years, $120 million. I think the Niners are like, on like $120 million right now. And I think that's a main issue right now. Don't know if he's looking at Commanders specifically. In my head, I would be looking more towards Steelers, Jets, and Chargers and Cardinals.
Steelers? I don't have any of those teams, actually.
Really?
Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, like I look at them, and the Steelers are a team that need a weapon as a wide receiver right now. I mean, they're pretty sluggish on that side of the ball. I don't know how much I love like George Pickens. Like, and it's a weird.
Steelers I can see. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's just a weird team. The Jets. It's a little bit more wishy-washy because you got Garrett Wilson and he's just such a dominant ball handler. But also, imagine him and Ayuk on side for side. I think Aaron Rodgers would benefit a lot from an extra receiver like that who can just do a lot. He can run it. He can run the whole tree.
Because they got a Mike Williams this offseason too. So you throw him in the slot and just let him work the middle. I could see that. That'd be nice.
And then the Chargers, I mean, they got rid of every single one of their...
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
They got rid of every single one of their receivers and just everyone who was good, even their running backs. So, like, I mean, my boy Justin needs something over there.
That's funny. So the reason I didn't see the Chargers, because the more I looked at it was from the perspective of who had the least receiving yards last year, so who kind of needs to bolster their room. And the Chargers were actually not bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't even see their name. But, yeah, they don't have Mike Will anymore. They don't have Keenan anymore. So I could definitely see the Chargers.
And then my other one was the Cardinals, which I just think Kyler would benefit from an extra person out there, especially when you just got Marvin Harrison, where you're going to want to kind of take some pressure off the rookie, and you're going to bring in somebody who has some years experience. Still young, 26 years old, but he knows how to get the ball. He definitely could help Marvin Harrison being next to him side by side.
I just feel like the Cardinals already have Hollywood. So I kind of knocked them off.
Yeah.
I could see that. To me, Hollywood and Ayuk are pretty similar. I think they need. I don't know. I want to see what Marvin Harrison does first before I really see what they need. I don't know if he's going to be a possession guy or route guy. So I'm interested to see what they need.
Yeah.
I had the Falcons. I think the Falcons would be a nice landing spot for them. They've
got Kirk throwing to him.
They've got Kirk.
Not bad.
You know, they've got Drake London on the one side. They've got Kyle Pitts working as a tight end. They've got Bijan who can work. So I just think that adding an Ayuk into that receiving core can really help them. It takes pressure off everybody. And now you've got a Kirk Cousins who can sling the ball around a little bit. There was 6th worst in receiving yards last year, so they could use a little bit of a bolstering. I have the Colts too. They got Pittman right now.
I like the Colts. I mean, they got Downs too.
Yeah, and I just think you can get Anthony Richardson another weapon, somebody that he can grow with, you know. I don't think Pittman's like a bona fide number one. I don't think Downs is a bona fide number one. I think Ayuk is like a 1A. So if you got him as a 1A and you've got Pittman as a 1B, I think that works well. So I could see the Colts being a nice landing spot for him. I feel like they've been just starving for receiver talent for years.
Yeah. Especially just Anthony Richardson. You want him to come in and you want him to ball out and not just be running all the time, which causes injuries for big quarterbacks like him. So if he can toss the ball a little bit more instead of kind of being a running back within like the red zone, that would really help. And Ayuk is one of those players.
And then the last team I had, and I feel like it's a bit far-fetched, but I think it's a team that just get as many weapons around this quarterback as you possibly can and see where it goes from there. Send them to the Ravens. The Ravens, all they really have right now is Zay Flowers. Bateman is okay. Duvernay is okay. They've got Mark Andrews. Now they have Derrick Henry. You throw another good receiver. You throw another good receiver in that mix, and that offense is just there's no telling what it can do. So that was like my kind of if he's gonna go anywhere, I think that would be cool. For the league, it'd be cool. As an Eagles fan, even though we don't play them, I think that's a bit scary. But I think the Ravens and Ayuk could be a nice match.
Yeah, I think he matches the energy of a Baltimore Raven, too.
I agree, yeah.
He just brings in that grittiness. I mean, the dude's just a dog when he's out there. Having Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews and Ayuk would just look really scary. And Rashad Bateman's it's actually been really good.
Yeah, he's
so,
good.
I'm excited. But like you said, he's just not one of those top guys. He's not a top dog.
Right, he's not somebody that you don't want to add to that room because he's there.
Exactly. So I can definitely see that. That actually is my top favorite landing spot for him now after hearing it. Yeah, but realistically, dude, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers might get it done.
Yeah, I think more that you say that, I remember when the contract stuff first started happening and there was Steelers talk. I could see that.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any other football talk you want to end this podcast with?
Nah, it's a pretty slow time for football.
It is slow, but it's gonna pick up.
We're getting into mandatory OTAs and things like that. You got some players missing mandatory OTAs. The Jets got a little bit of a problem on their hands. Aaron Rodgers apparently on an ayahuasca retreat rather than being at mini camp.
Apparently, Salah's like cool with it.
That's fine. I don't know how cool with it I would be as a teammate, though. You know what I mean? Like, cool, you're Aaron Rodgers. I get it. There's there's nothing I can really say to you.
Yeah.
But we're here working, and you're doing drugs. So,
Yeah, I get that.
and then in the same breath, they just traded for Hassan Reddick, who's now holding out and doesn't want to come in. And apparently he told them that he would, and now he's not there. But I kind of understand that. I think that players, I've always been kind of a players guy where I side with the players more than the organization. That's a guy that put up a ton of sacks, and he's getting paid to be a mid-tier edge rusher.
Yeah.
So if he's putting up the same numbers as a Bosa, and Bosa's getting paid twice as much as him, why should he go out there? And I get that. Like, I saw somebody tweet basically what I just said.
Yeah.
And I kind of put it into perspective. Like, yeah, that's right. So they're in a little bit of trouble over there with those two guys holding out. They're supposed to be big pieces for them. And they're not holding out. Hassan is, but other than that, football's gonna pick up.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I just totally forgot about, Juan?
Our All-Star ballots?
Yeah, I totally forgot about our All-Star ballots. So we are going to throw it back to baseball.
Yeah, why not?
Totally forgot about that subject because this is also a really fun one. So we're just going to go down our list of people that we picked.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to lie. Mine is kind of like just straight bias.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking too hard into stats. It's just people that I want to see out there.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm going to be at All-Star Weekend.
Hey.
So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be interviewing some of these players. So I picked everyone I want to interview.
That's all you can.
Yeah, exactly. So how about this? We'll go first base. We'll just go down the line,
Yeah.
kind of saying we'll start off with American
Cool.
and just go down, and then we'll go national.
Gotcha.
First base, I got my boy Vladdy Guerrero.
Okay.
He's put up the stats to definitely show that he should be there, but also he's just a fun player to watch. Like, he hits bombs. He's active. He's a good first baseman, but he's really just a powerhouse.
Yeah. I have on a similar sense. I feel like he's not as as flashy and not as known, but Josh Naylor is my first baseman for the American League.
He was my second pick.
Yeah, he's hitting 229, nothing crazy. He's got 17 homers, 50 RBIs, playing a solid first base, a little bit of DH. So I like Josh Naylor. The no batting gloves, pimping home runs.
A little gritty in there. A little gritty. Second base. This is one of my favorite players to watch and has been for a little bit now. He's on the Rangers. My man's Marcus Semien.
Yep, agree. Got him too.
Yeah, have to agree with that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the other second baseman and I was like, eh.
Yeah, Altuve. I don't want to vote for Altuve, so Semien will get my vote.
It's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
There was zero chance of me voting for that little midget. All right, third base, you've got Rafael Devers. Obviously, I hate the Red Sox, but Rafael Devers, he's an absolute beast. He always has a hog of a tobacco in his lip. So seeing him out there would be pretty damn cool. I mean, he hits bombs, and he's also a really good third baseman.
Yeah, I love Devers too. I'm a big Devers guy, but I feel like there's just a third baseman in the American League that's better than him. I like Jose Ramirez.
Yeah?
I think Jose Ramirez
He's so good. He also always has tobacco in his lip.
He does. I think Jose Ramirez gets underrated somehow. Like,
I agree.
He's a switch hitter that plays good defense. He steals bags, and right now he's hitting 269, 18 homers, 62 RBIs. He just produces consistently. So for third base, I got to give the nod to Jose Ramirez.
I love that. That was also definitely one of my top picks. I was really switching between him. And you're liking the Guardians, hey?
Oh yeah,
You're liking the Guardians, I see. Moving to shortstop, the one, the only.
Gunner.
Derek Jeter. I mean, Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe, my bad. Who do you got?
I got Gunner.
Yeah, as expected.
I think Gunner's just been the best American League shortstop right now. Volpe's been great, and as a Yankees fan, of course you're going to go
Bias.
Volpe. But Gunner, I don't watch a lot of Orioles games. I'm watching him this weekend, the way he approaches at bats, everything like that. It's just impressive. He's a stud.
I agree. Gunner's just amazing. If he wasn't in my division and I absolutely hated his guts, then I'd probably pick him too. We've got our three outfielders. This one was pretty easy for me to pick. Got Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Julio Rodriguez. Obviously biased toward the two, but also Aaron Judge has been the best player in baseball, and also Juan Soto is top 4, top 5 if need be.
Yeah.
And Julio Rodriguez is just a fun player. He's really good batting, but I love his fielding. Just watching him field, watching him rob home runs and act like he didn't, and then he shows it. Those things are fun to me.
Yeah, it's good for baseball.
It is good for baseball. Who do you have?
I've got Judge too.
Yeah.
You can't not have Judge on there.
Yeah.
A little bit of recency bias, just watching Anthony Santander kill the Phillies. But I also looked at the stats, and the stats back it up too. He's playing at a very high level. And then this one's kind of a bias, but I don't think he's been playing bad. And every team has to have a representative.
Yeah.
So another outfielder I picked was Matt Vierling from Detroit, Phillies legend. He's hitting
Love that.
257 right now, 9 homers, 30 RBIs for a guy that was not looked at as an offensive threat. You know?
Yeah.
So those are my 3 outfielders right now.
I love that, even though you don't have Juan Soto.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even see him. It was just one of those. I was looking through all the names. I don't know how I missed him.
Yeah, he was blind. He was blind for that one. Catcher, I had to go with the Orioles guy, Adley.
You went with Adley?
Yeah, I went Adley. He's just a dog. Like, I couldn't go Gunnar and Adley. I couldn't. Like, I would hate myself. But he's just so good. I love watching him play. I love him on MLB The Show. I had to put him in there.
Yeah, Adley's fun in the show. I was torn between these two, and I feel like I leaned with who I grew up really liking, which was Salvi Perez.
Yeah.
And he's also backing up right now. He's hitting 292. He's got 11 dingers, 45 RBI. So he's having
fun
a
to
good
watch.
season too. And
He's
yeah,
fun to watch.
he's just one of those guys that watching those Royals teams growing up and catching a little bit. I was like, I like this guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
I got Salvi catching right now.
I like that. And you put a DH, but I did not put a DH.
Yeah, I picked Jordan. I don't know. That dude's just an animal with a bat in his hands. An animal with a bat in his hands.
Yeah, I guess I'd pick him too. That concludes the American League. Moving on to the National League, first baseman. I picked Bryce Harper. I mean, I feel like most of the people will. Who'd you pick?
Phillies bias aside, I don't know how you don't pick Bryce as your first
Yeah.
baseman. When you go through the stats, he's just above everybody else for the most part.
Yeah.
282, 15 homers, 46 RBIs, 910 OPS. Yeah, he's an all-star first baseman and an MVP candidate.
Yeah, did you see that actually Juan Soto was getting interviewed in the middle of a game?
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
They asked him who was like the hardest hit, who was like the wow
Yeah.
when you watched him hit the ball. Bryce Harper,
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, and
Stanton.
And he said Bryce.
Yeah, as he's
catching a ball in the outfield. He says Bryce Harper was the like wow,
Yeah.
which is I'm not surprised. I mean, that man Bryce swings with some oomph. Like, that dude's an absolute beast. So I mean, good for him for saying that, but I think it's still Judge. Second base, I picked the boy from the Padres, Luis Arias.
Okay.
I think he's somebody that won't get picked that easily. I think his batting stats, I don't have them up right now, but when I was looking at them, they definitely back it up. He's been clean at playing second base, and I think he'd just be fun to watch when I'm there.
See, I like Ketel Marte. I've always been a Ketel fan, and then I
like
watched
him.
I watched him kill the Phillies in the playoffs last year.
He couldn't not hit the ball.
He from left side, right side, doesn't matter. I love a switch hitter too. And he's hitting 283, 14 dingers, 39 RBIs, playing a good second base. So I like Ketel Marte. That was my pick for second base here.
I love that. Moving on to third base, I had to pick another Phillies player. Did Alec Boehm. He's just shown up and shown out this year. It felt like after last year when he was like, it was kind of funny when he would talk to reporters and such like that. Like, you remember all that.
Yeah.
He was being like, oh, like, Philly, like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
he
oh,
did
yeah, I
not
get
like
it. I'm
this
not
place.
doing that well. I don't like this place. But I think he showed out this year. I mean, defensively, he's shown out a lot. I
Yeah.
think compared to how he used to be. He
I
used to be
agree.
a
The
nightmare
glove-
at third base.
The gloves got much better.
Yeah, much better. He clearly worked on that side of his game, and then his batting. I mean, batting
He's
above.
a demon with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, he is. Didn't he just hit a home run last night too?
He did.
Yes, he did. Good job, Alec.
My third baseman, I picked Ryan McMahon from Colorado. Another one, I just feel like he doesn't get the recognition, but he's another one that just puts up numbers. And I wanted to stay away from the Phillies. The Phillies are running the All-Star voting right now. It's like not even fair. They have 6 or 8 All-Stars right now just off of fan votes. So
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of keep it a little less biased. I went with Ryan McMahon.
I like that. I like that little pick as not being biased.
Yeah.
Shortstop. This player is one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, he's fast. He hits hard. He throws hard. Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah. There's not an All-Star game where you shouldn't have Ellie De La Cruz simply
Exactly.
for the sake of the game.
Exactly.
I went with a less flashy pick, but another guy that I feel like is just a bit underrated. I feel like that's kind of the theme of my team right now. I went with Willie Adames from Milwaukee.
12, I like that pick.
12 homers, 51 RBIs, saying 241 right now. Just consistently hitting fourth for the Brewers team right now, and good guy, good player. Think he can be an all-star.
Yeah, I definitely think he deserves the chance to be. Ellie's just too dangerous for me. I just watching him play is so sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
like dude throws over 100 miles per hour from shortstop to first. He runs about 100 miles per hour, and he hits bombs that are 120 miles per hour. So I mean, just watching him play is going to be really cool. If he gets it, who knows?
Right.
Moving on, we've got our outfielders, our 3 outfielders everyone picks. I picked Teoscar Hernandez.
Same.
Absolutely love watching him play.
Yeah.
With the Dodgers too, it's just really fun.
Ball flies off his bat.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch him play. He's a dog. Moving on, I picked Christian Yelich.
Same.
Yeah, there we go. We didn't even tell each other our lists.
No.
So Christian Yelich, just again, he was supposed to be Aaron Judge, but I don't care if he lived down to that. He's still an all-star in my head.
He's coming back up. He's not doing Aaron Judge things, but he's
Yeah.
coming back to that. Like when him and Bellinger were having the MVP race a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting back into that form.
Yeah, and my third is the first guest to ever come on this podcast, Michael Ciani. He is up for all-star voting. Everybody vote for him because he's an absolute dog. He just hit his second homer of his MLB career yesterday, so shout out to my boy. I had to pick him in there.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, it's so dope to see his picture along with all these goats.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my third.
Yeah, shout out to Mike. My third is Jurickson Profar. Just another having a great year. Switch hitter that kind of got his career derailed a little bit, bouncing between team to team. But he's hitting 321 right now, 10 homers, 46 RBIs, and a 909 OPS. Like, what world is that not an all-star?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
100%.
I had to throw him in there.
I like that. For catcher, who do you have?
Oh, this was one where when the Braves traded him, I didn't agree with it. I got William Contreras from Milwaukee.
I like that. Yeah.
Hitting 305, 9 homers, 48 RBIs.
That was my other pick, too.
JT's hurt. I wanted to pick JT, but I didn't go with him. So I picked William Contreras. I thought looking at his stats and everything else, he was the one.
Yeah, I couldn't go JT after his going down.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it right, or else I would have. Like you said, you got to kind of spread out the love for some of these teams. So I actually picked a Colorado Rocky with Elias Diaz.
Oh, MVP last year.
MVP. I had to pick my man's. It's the Rockies, yeah, but I think everyone should get represented in this game.
Yeah.
And he's a dog.
Yeah,
And
he's good.
he's a really good catcher. He's got a good arm, and he hits well.
I saw they were going to trade him.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Well, they should because the Rockies are so
Yeah,
bad.
they're horrible.
Who did you pick for your DH? I don't have one.
My last DH is Ozuna from the Braves.
Okay, so Ozuna will be mine too. So I got Yordan and Ozuna. Yeah, that concludes our All-Star ballots. Everybody go make yours, please. It matters. Everybody should get an opinion on who they like and show your friends. So thank you so much. Please comment below what you guys think about our picks for the All-Star ballot, what you think about the baseball season. What do you think about the Celtics in 5, baby? Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much, Juan.
You think nothing about that.
Yeah.
In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away